Council is set to hold an emergency meeting on Sunday. The Secretary General called the military escalation dangerous, saying that it risks many lives, including those of the remaining Israeli hostages. The foreign ministers of Britain, Italy, Germany, Australia, and New Zealand issued a joint statement strongly rejecting Mr. Netanyahu's plan to expand the war in Gaza. They said it will aggravate the catastrophic humanitarian situation, endanger the lives of the hostages, and further risk the mass displacement of civilians, adding that any attempts at annexation or settlement extension violate international law. Israel has defended the decision to escalate its military expansion in Gaza, with Defense Minister Israel Katz saying international partners who condemned Israel would not weaken their resolve to defeat Hamas. Currently, Israeli forces have control of around 75% of the territory. The new plan is to take over Gaza City, home to around 1 million Palestinians. A satellite image shows the density of the area 2 years ago. A more recent image shows that some parts have been completely destroyed in this war, while others remain largely intact. Israel does not allow international journalists, including the BBC, into Gaza, so coverage relies on trusted freelancers within the territory. John Donnison reports from Jerusalem. Homeless and hungry, Gazans woke up to the news that this war is far from over. More Israeli airstrikes hit the area, and in Gaza City there is the threat of another ground invasion. One resident asks, "What is the point of a ground invasion? There's nothing left that you haven't wiped out. There's nothing left, and there's no food either." With many already living in tents, under Netanyahu's plan, up to 1 million people will be ordered to flee again. Gaza City is not safe. The north is not safe. Where should we go? Do we throw ourselves into the sea? Another resident asks. For Gazans, the destruction and suffering seem endless. Just 50 miles away, but a world apart in Jerusalem, Israelis are stocking up for the weekend. Capturing Gaza City will require hundreds of thousands of troops, but many Israelis say there is no alternative. One man says, "What's the alternative? Have we tried making deals? Yes. Has it done anything? No. There are still attacks. There are still casualties on both sides. So it needs to be finished now. We need to finish all the terror." The decision by the Prime Minister is divisive. Many support him, but polls show a majority of Israelis think the best way to get the remaining hostages home is through ending the war and a ceasefire deal. This makes the decision a gamble. This weekend, there will be mass protests by hostage families and supporters, many arguing that if their loved ones don't return alive, the Prime Minister will be partly to blame. Joel O'Kay, head of operations in Gaza for Save the Children, responds to the plan. "We know what military expansion and military occupation mean for Palestinian children. We've seen the harm from previous escalations. What we need in Gaza is a definitive ceasefire. Children have been paying the highest price for this unrelenting war. They had no pardon. Many have been killed at unprecedented rates, lost homes and loved ones, and faced hunger and disease. They are the most vulnerable and least likely to receive proper medical care given the decimated health system." O'Kay explains why children suffer most. Children are particularly vulnerable to explosive weapons. Their bodies are thrown harder and further by blasts. Their bones bend more, increasing the chances of long-term disabilities. They have less blood to lose, and access to medical or special care is extremely limited. We see the mental impact, the malnutrition, and the hunger every day. Asked where people can go, one woman says, "Where should we go? Should we throw ourselves into the sea?" Amir Nadah, BBC correspondent in Jerusalem, adds, "In the run-up to the decision, there was rare public criticism from serving and former security officials and military chiefs urging Netanyahu to not go into Gaza City. They warned about the danger to hostages and the damage to Israel's international reputation. Opposition leaders raised similar concerns. It's believed that hostages are being held around Gaza City, and Hamas has previously said they would execute them if Israeli troops came near. Hostage families say the plan is essentially a death sentence for their relatives. After the announcement, the Israeli military's chief of staff, previously a critic of the plan, said there is now unity with the government. The government has hardened its language in the face of criticism, with the defense minister saying that neither internal nor external condemnation will weaken their resolve. There is little sign that international pressure will change their course.